You get a small inheritance. What do you do with that money? There's lots of choices. What's the wise thing to do? Real life financial planning scenario. I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. All right, we love financial planning and looking at all 6 areas of someone's financial life. And then when a big decision needs to be made, which of the choices, the good choices, which of them brings improvement to as many areas as possible? That would be the great choice among a variety of good options. That's financial planning, and we just love it that you've got to look at all 6 areas of your financial life to make great decisions. And receiving a small inheritance is one of those times. Your financial life needing to be decisionable so that all 6 areas of your financial life there's clarity, there's visibility, your net worth is updated, you've got a CFP that understands your goals and you've got your goals articulated. All right, this is what we're trying to achieve financially and these are the things that we're funding and why and when we're going to achieve them and all that sort of stuff, right? Your CFP should be providing clarity and confidence with your overall financial life. Your life is decisionable at all times. So as life throws you curveballs or something happens, you're able to quickly see, all right, what is the wise choice? Well, an inheritance, it could be one of those times when you say, I wish my financial life was decisionable. Had a real life financial planning scenario. Here's what happened. Basically a younger couple, okay, middle age, let's just say, she found out her grandmother just passed away, and in the will, this is what she found out, she's going to receive about $30,000 in inheritance. So not life-changing, but a meaningful amount of money. And my co-host on our weekly 1-hour talk show and one of my mentors, Josh Gregory, has always said, you're one great financial decision from an upward spiral in your financial life. And we've seen this to be true. And therefore, $30,000 in inheritance that could easily say, well, we're going to spend it, or nope, we're going to save it, and anywhere in between. But which along that spectrum of probably a lot of good choices, which is the great choice, okay? In this scenario, she was thinking, we'd like the money to go towards our kids' college. They've got younger kids, both of them younger than 10. So put it in their college accounts, have the money grow, and that will help them with that goal. Husband was thinking, well, I want a new car, right? So 30 grand, that would get us a long way towards a new vehicle. Before I get into, okay, how would you make that decision? Let me just tell you. So in my life, so before I was born, my mom, when she was 16, was, I believe, riding a bike with some friends, crossing a road and was hit by a car. Almost died. She was in a coma for 2 weeks. And this altered her life completely. And this is way back when, right? So probably early 70s is my guess, maybe late 60s, early 70s. And the insurance money, this was obviously not her fault. The insurance money was 10 grand. It's more money than my grandparents, my mom, they'd ever had in their life, really. They grew up, not with very little, okay? I'll just leave it at that. And so my grandma and grandpa at the time, I just can imagine, well, all of a sudden you've got a lot of money, what do you do with it? And they said, we are gonna send her to college. And she used that insurance money to help go towards college. I'm assuming that paid for all 4 years at the time. She didn't go away to school, went locally, and I believe that paid for her entire college education, and that allowed her to be the first college graduate in her family and get a great job, and really has sort of compounded into a lot of great financial momentum and success over their life. And so I understand that you can make a decision just like she's thinking here, well, I want it to go towards college, and that very well might be the very best choice. But how do you make that choice? First and foremost, and this is what I would hope for all of you, is that your financial life is decisionable, that you're working with your certified financial planner and it is clear where you stand financially, so your financial life is updated reasonably within a reasonable amount of time, where you know how much is in cash total, how much you're saving for retirement and where you stand with that goal, or how much you're saving for college or any other goals that you have, how much you have on debt at any given moment, and what your goals are there. And so it's very clear where you stand financially and what you're trying to achieve. Because when that happens and all of a sudden there's an event like this where financially you've got a small or mini windfall, then normally the discussion is much easier, and it's much clearer to say, yep, this money goes directly to this goal. And guys, oftentimes when there's this sudden money, there does become this, well, but we do want to give some of it to the grandkids, or we do want to, we haven't taken a family vacation in a long time, or we've been needing to update this in the house or something. So a lot of times we'll say 2/3 towards these goals and 1/3 for any kind of near term sort of spontaneous or sentimental reasons. And it's okay when you've got that clarity on where you stand financially and what the next goals are, to then have a sudden chunk of money and say, well, we do want some of it to accelerate the progress we're making towards these goals, but then some of it, we want to just fund some new things that just came to mind now that we've got these resources in our lap. That's okay. That's absolutely okay. And maybe it's not 1/3, 2/3, maybe it's 50-50, maybe it's, 75%, 25%. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but when your financial life is decisionable and you know where you stand and what your goals are and are you on pace for those, then you've got the clarity and confidence so that when these decisions come up, it's very easy. All right, here's what we should do. Here's the wise choice. So that's what I would recommend and what I'd want for all of you. Now, if you don't have that clarity, or maybe you've got that clarity, but there's just a lot of other things that are coming to mind, let me first speak directly to this couple's scenario where she's thinking, I want this to go towards college, and he's thinking, I want this to go towards a vehicle. Now, to me, objectively, both of those seem emotion driven. If helping the kids with college is a clear and stated financial goal and car replacement is a clear and stated goal, then it's not emotional. Then figure out which of those has the highest priority, how you'd want to kind of split these up, working with your CFP, and there you go. But both of those sound fairly emotional. And so that's where I would look and say, well, purchasing a vehicle short of these past couple of years, vehicles actually decline in value, depreciate in value. And so I would resist the urge to say, well, this car that I have is okay, but boy, it sure would be nice to have a new one. And let's use this money towards a new one. If it's a need or it's a goal, then absolutely. But if it's an emotional reaction, then I would try to temper that. Okay, I would try to temper that, because in 2 years, there's going to be new tech in cars, and there's going to be a nicer vehicle. In 3 years, there's going to be a nicer one. So if there's not an immediate need or an immediate goal for a vehicle, sounds emotional, and I would temper that. And then with college, if that is a stated goal, then absolutely consider how you could do this in a tax beneficial way, how you could use these dollars towards getting some tax benefits and structuring those dollars towards that goal. But if it's not a goal, and it wasn't for my grandparents, I'm going to tell you that right now, that wasn't a goal of theirs, and it still turned out to be the absolute right choice. But I would take a look and then say, well, now that we've got these resources, is it now a goal? And then where does it fit within the priority of other goals that we have? What are some of those potential goals? Well, it could be building up an emergency fund. And I'm thinking here a little bit, we don't believe in every little piece of advice that Dave Ramsey would share from the radio waves, but a lot of the principles and philosophies are pretty, we're pretty aligned with that. And so I'm thinking 7 baby steps. And all of a sudden, if you get these resources, if you don't have some clear stated financial goals and progress that you're making with your CFP, then do you have your emergency fund funded? Do you have all your consumer debt paid off? So I think of those 2 things. Those are some potential wise uses towards these dollars, because that should then free up cash flow. And that cash flow then could help you accelerate and really compound, making progress in other areas of your financial life. I think of, should these dollars be structured so that you're contributing to your Roth IRA, maxing that out? Right now, at the time I'm creating this video, it's before April 15. So if you're income eligible, you could contribute to 2 years at one time to your Roth IRA, both you and your spouse. You could basically use this entire 30 grand essentially towards, or most of it, towards funding Roth IRAs for the previous 2 years, and all of a sudden this money gets repurposed for retirement, and it's going to grow over time, tax-free and tax-sheltered, right? So that's another idea, but it's really ultimately you've got to look and say, well, where are we financially? What are our financial goals, and how do these dollars help create that upward spiral of financial progress and financial success? Work with your CFP on that. Someone that's doing comprehensive financial planning can walk through that approach with you. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or send us an email, info@Korhorn.com. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.